Hello everyone, welcome back to the Aspirant World. In this video, I will share current affairs from 17th April 2020 to 24th April 2020. If you haven't subscribed it yet, consider subscribing. We will be posting summary of all the important current affairs every week. This video will include only the important current affairs for this week. If you want to check all the current affairs, go visit our website, which is aspirantworld.in. So let's start. India-US missile deals. The US State Department has approved two potential missile deals with India for an estimated $92 million and $63 million. The first deal, for which Boeing is the contractor, is for 10 AGM-84L Harpoon Block II air-launched missiles and related equipments. These missiles can be fitted with Boeing P-81 maritime patrol aircraft and are intended to enhance India's capability in the anti-surface warfare while defending its sea lanes. The second deal, for $63 million and principally contracted with Raytheon Integrated Defense System, is for 16 Mk-54 all-up-round lightweight torpedoes, 3 Mk-54 exercise torpedoes, and related equipment. Also included are Mk-54 spare parts, torpedoes containers, 2 recoverable exercise torpedoes with containers and related equipment, and support from the US government and the contractors. The torpedoes are expected to enhance India's anti-submarine warfare capabilities and can be used with the P-81. There are no known offset agreements for both deals, the State Department said, and any offset agreement will be defined in negotiation between India and the contractor. The Defense Security Cooperation Agency delivered the required certification to the US Congress, notifying it of the possible sale. Under the US Arms Export Control Act, Congress has 30 days to raise objections to the sale in the case of India. Next. Amendment to Environment Impact Assessment EIA Notification 2006. To ramp up the availability production of various drugs COVID-19, the Ministry of Environment has made an agreement to Environment Impact Assessment EIA Notification 2006. All projects or category in respect of bulk drug and intermediates manufactured for addressing various ailments have been recategorized from the existing category A to the B2 category. Projects falling under category B2 are exempted from the requirement of collection of baseline data, EIA studies, and public consultations. The recategorization of such proposal has been done to facilitate the decentralization of appraisal to state level so as to fast-track the process. This amendment is applicable to all proposals received up to 30 September 2020. Outdated census data deprives over 10 crores of PDS. Over 10 crores people have been excluded from the public distribution system because outdated 2011 census data is being used to calculate state-wise National Food Security Act (NFSA) coverage, according to the economists Jean Dries and Ritika Khera. Under the NFSA, the PDS is supposed to cover 75% of the population in rural area and 50% of the population in urban area, which works out of the 60% of the total population using the rural-urban population ratio in 2011. India's population was about 121 crore in 2011 and so PDS covered approximately 80 crore people. However, applying the 67% ratio to the projected population of 137 crore of 2020, PDS coverage today should be around 92 crores. Even taking into account growing urbanization, the shortfall would be around 10 crore people. With the 2021 census process being delayed due to the COVID-19 crisis, any proposed revision of PDS coverage using the data could now take several years. Next. Zoom. The Ministry of Home Affairs has put out a detailed 2-page long advisory for Zoom users in India. Controversy-ridden video conferencing platform Zoom has eventually come under the radar of the Government of India. The Ministry of Home Affairs put out a detailed 2-page long advisory for Zoom users in India to safeguard their virtual meeting from prying eyes deeming the video conferencing platform unsafe. The video conferencing platform that has seemingly become an overnight sensation during the ongoing coronavirus crisis has been quick to bounce back with solution to some of these issues. But somehow, newer, more concerning issues keep piling up every day. The advisory, which is specifically meant for private individuals and not government officials or officials for official purposes, highlights way to prevent unauthorized entry in the conference room, prevent an authorized participant to carry out malicious attack on the terminals of others in the conference, and to avoid DOS attack by restricting users through password and access grant. Next. Monetary policy. Amidst the steep fall in the rupee and continuing volatility in other segments to the financial market, Reserve Bank of India today announced several regulatory measures. RBI Governor announced to slash the reverse repo rate from 4% to 3.75% while keeping the repo rate unchanged. He also announced 50,000 crore rupees booster package for small and medium-sized industry to recover from the lockdown. The RBI governor declared that the period of resolution plan for NPAs will be extended by 90 days and the loans given by the NBFCs to real estate companies will get similar benefit as given by the scheduled commercial banks. He said that these measures will help to maintain liquidity in the system, facilitate and incentivize bank credit flows, ease financial stress, and enable the formal working of markets. Mr. Das also said that India's growth rate is expected to be the highest among G20 nations as per IMF estimates. Next, FDI from neighboring countries. In a move that will restrict Chinese investment, the center has made prior government approval mandatory for foreign direct investment from countries that share a land border with India. Previously, only investment from Pakistan and Bangladesh faced such restrictions. The revised FDI policy is aimed at curbing opportunistic takeovers accusations of Indian companies due to the current COVID-19 pandemic. A non-resident entity can invest in India subject to the FDI policy except in those sectors activities which are prohibited. However, an entity of a country which shares a land border with India or where the beneficial owner of investment into India is situated in or is a citizen of any such countries can invest only under the direct government route. Next, Annapurna and Jai Kisan trains. Indian Railways continue to deliver essential commodities like food grains through its freight services to strengthen the government's effort in managing the challenges and adverse impact of coronavirus in the country. Northern Railway has formed 5,000-ton long-haul loaded food grains trains. 25 such Annapurna trains have been formed and run by NR up to 16 for 2020. Like NR, as part of this endeavor, now the South Central Zone of Indian Railways has come up with a unique concept of running Jai Kishan special freight trains so as to ensure speedy delivery of food grains to different special parts of the country. Under normal circumstances, one freight train containing 42 covered wagons loaded with food grains carrying around 2,600 tons. But in the new concept, two freight trains means 42 plus 42, 84 covered wagons with around 5,200 tons capacity of food grains will be moved in a single path. Next. Spanish flu of 1918. As the coronavirus spreads around the world, comparison between today's situation and the Spanish flu pandemic of 1918 are proliferating. The Spanish flu, also known as the 1918 flu pandemic, was an unusually deadly influenza pandemic. Lasting from January 1918 to December 1920, it has infected 500 million people, about a third of the world's population at the time. The death toll is estimated to have been anywhere from 17 million to 50 million. The Spanish flu was the first of two pandemics caused by the H1N1 influenza virus. The second was the swine flu in 2009. Despite its popular name, historical and epidemiological data cannot identify the geographical origin of the Spanish flu. The origin of the Spanish flu name stems from the pandemic spread to Spain from France in November 1918. Next, AEIOU. Prime Minister Narendra Modi said the new business and work culture should be redefined on the vowels of AEIOU, where A stands for adaptability, E stands for efficiency, I stands for inclusivity, O stands for opportunity, and U stands for universalism. Prime Minister Modi said that these will become essential ingredients of any business model in the post-COVID world. The Prime Minister said that the need of the hour is to think of business and lifestyle models that are easily adaptable and emphasizes should be on completing a task in the specified time frame. He emphasized the need to develop business models that attach primacy to care for the poor, the most vulnerable as well as the planet. Prime Minister Modi also said that India can emerge as the nerve center of complex modern supply chain in the post-coronavirus world. Next. Matterhorn Mountain. Indian tricolor flag of more than 1,000 meters in size was projected on Matterhorn Mountain, Zermatt, Switzerland to express solidarity to all Indians in the fight against COVID-19. The Matterhorn is a mountain of Alps straddling the main watershed and border between Switzerland and Italy. It's a large, near-symmetrical pyramidal peak in the extended Monte Rosa area of the Pennine Alps, whose summit is 4,478 meters, making it one of the highest summits in the Alps and Europe. The mountain overlooks the Swiss town of Zermatt in the canton of Valais to the northeast and the Italian town of Bruxelles-Carvigna in the Aosta Valley of the south. Sometimes referred to as a mountain of mountains, the Matterhorn has become an iconic emblem of the Alps in general. Next. Currency exchange rate. The exchange rate of the rupee is an apt marker of the state of the Indian economy's competitiveness in the aftermath of the economic disruption due to the spread of the novel coronavirus disease. Essentially, a currency exchange rate vis-a-vis another country reflects the relative demand among the holders of the two currencies. This demand in turn depends on the relative demand for the goods and services of the two countries. If the US dollar is stronger than the rupees, then it shows that the demand of dollar is more than the demand of rupees. The Reserve Bank of India tabulates the rupees nominal effective exchange rate (NEER) need in relation to the currencies of 36 trading partner countries. This is weighted index, that is, countries with which India trades more are given greater weight in the index. The decrease in the index denotes depreciation in the rupees values and increases reflects appreciation. The real effective exchange rate (REER) is essentially an improvement over the NEER because it also takes into account the domestic inflation in various economies. Next. Reverse repo rate. Unlike in the past when the RBI used its repo rate as a main instrument to tweak the interest rate, presently it's a reverse repo rate that is effectively setting the benchmark. The repo rate is the rate at which the RBI lends money to the banking system for short duration. The reverse repo rate is the rate at which the bank can park their money with the RBI. Under normal circumstances, that is, when the economy is growing, the repo rate is the benchmark interest rate in the economy because it is the lowest rate of interest at which fund can be borrowed, and as such, it forms the floor rate of all other interest rate in the economy. Recognizing this, the central bank has cut the reverse repo rate more than repo twice in the spate of the last 3 weeks. Next. Earth Day 2020. April 22, 2020 marks 50 years of Earth Day. The theme of the Earth Day 2020 is climate action. Earth Day is observed every year on April 2020. It was first celebrated in 1970. On April 2020, 1970, millions of people took to the streets to protest the negative impact of 150 years of industrial development. To increase the awareness among common public, specifically among youngsters, to get full effect of the campaign of environmental safety, Earth Day Network is the not-for-profit organization that leads Earth Day worldwide. Lithium in space. Researchers at the Indian Institute of Astrophysics, an autonomous institute under the Department of Science and Technologies, have discovered hundreds of Li-rich giant stars, indicating that Li is being produced in the stars and accounts for its abundance in the interstellar medium. They have also associated such Li enhancement with central He burning stars, also known as red plum giants, thereby opening up new vistas in evolution of red giant stars. This is an important discovery that will help to eliminate many proposed theories such as planet engulfment or nucleosynthesis during the red giant evolution, in which helium at the center is not burning. Don't forget to give us a thumbs up. If you have any suggestion, post it down below in the comment section. We will be posting such videos every week, so hit the subscribe button and press the bell icon to never miss any video. Thanks for watching.